Hey guys, today we're going to do a video. What is the correct thermal paste to use on your PS4 console? So as you know, in our videos what we do is we help you guys to repair your PS4s, PS3s, Xboxes yourself, and we show you the tips on how to do it and how to do it correctly without damaging anything on the main board or actually trying to damaging the machine itself. These two thermal pastes, there's a very big difference for your PS4, especially on the PS4 consoles. There's a big difference between these two thermal pastes, and in this video I'm going to show you what the difference is between the two. So be very careful what thermal paste you buy for your PS4. You could damage your PS4 even further. Right, let's get down to this. I'm going to, the next one, next we're going to show you on the board itself why these two thermal pastes are so different and why you shouldn't use one or the other. Cool, let's have a look at this now. Okay, so here are the two different types of thermal paste. You have this one, which is more like a silver color, and then you have this one that's more like a white color. This is the original thermal paste. Let's quickly zoom in on that. This is the original thermal paste that the PS4 Pro that we're busy with. That's the original, sorry guys, I'm going to focus there a little bit. That's the original thermal paste that's on the PS4 Pro at the moment. You'll see on one of our previous videos we did a proper video on how to open your PS4 Pro step by step without damaging any of the flexes or pulling off the power plug off the board. So yeah, you can see this is the original one. It's probably also similar to the other one that we got in this video that we're doing today, where it's actually like a silver color. Let's quickly open that one up, zoom you guys out a little bit more there. So you'll see this one here, it's terrible stuff, it's already all over the person's fingers. You'll see this is also like a silver color, very similar to the color of the actual one that's on the processor right now, the standard one that the PS4 Pros, well, all the PS4s and PS3s have on them. But I'm going to tell you there's a very big difference. So don't go by color. Color doesn't make a difference when it comes to thermal paste. You'll see in the syringe here, this is more a white color one that we use. We've been using this for many years now already, and it works very, very well. Now the difference is between these two pastes, and even those two pastes right there, the silver one here and that silver there, you can see on the spatula also, you can see how shiny it is if I move it around a little bit. Okay, the light is catching it, but it's a very silvery color. The problem with this one is we got it from a guy and we really thought that this paste is going to be like magic, you know, this is going to be like the ultimate paste that you're going to be able to get. It wasn't very cheap either. It's not a very cheap one, this, it's a little bit expensive, and we really thought this is going to make quite a big difference. The problem with this one is it's actually got metal flakes in it. That is really bad. Okay, you don't want any metal flakes in your thermal paste. If it's got any metal in it, it's going to cause a lot of problems for the PS4. And we actually found with this PS4, or sorry, not with this PS4, but we found on the PS4's processor, this is the center part of the processor around there, that silver block. So we actually clean this out. You'll see there's a solid steel block on the middle of the processor. It's sort of like a heat sink. It draws all the heat to that silver piece of metal on there. And then obviously that's just the outside of the processor. And then on the inside you've got all these little components. You can see all these tiny little brown components, okay, all around the chip. What happens is when you use any thermal paste that's got metal or metal flakes in it, and you get a overrun of the paste, like on here, you'll see this actually comes loose. So what's happened is Sony actually put so much paste on this processor that when they put the board back into the machine and they squashed you know, when the heat sink comes down and squashes down onto the processor, it squeezes a lot of the excess out to the sides. As you can see, it's right out to the sides here, and it's on the actual, you know, board. It's on the little board of the processor itself. But if you look carefully underneath that, you'll see that it's ran over onto those little chips in the front there, small little chips in the processor. I'm going to try and zoom in a little bit more, but the problem is it goes out of focus when we do. So I'm going to plug the best shot I can. I think it's not too bad. Let's just go one out. I just don't want to get you guys in a really bad spot there so you can't see. This is quite important, so I just want you to understand carefully what we're doing here. So as you can see, when they put this on, it squashed and it actually went over those chips here. That's the way it was. So all these little chips here, then what happens is every little leg on those chips with this silver one with the metal flakes in it, you can see on the spatula silver it is. Those metal flakes create a short between these little components all around the chip, especially if it runs over like this, because you never really know how much to put on there. You only put a small little blob down the center when you're repasting a processor, but I'll show you guys. I'll do another video on that, how to, you know, actually put thermal paste on your PS4 properly, so that you don't get all this type of thing happening. But just be careful, don't buy thermal paste that's got metal flakes in it, because this is where you're going to have a problem. It'll run over and it'll short out these chips. We actually had that problem before. We replaced the thermal paste on a PS4 when we just got this the thermal paste that I was showing you guys, and we really thought this stuff was so brilliant, and we're going to use it, and it's going to, you know, help even more. And it didn't, just because of the metal flakes in it. I don't think this one actually tells you that it's got metal in it. It says low thermal resistance and high thermal conductivity. Apply to CPU, VGA, LED, chipsets and other PC components. So that's what it tells you, but yeah, it didn't really work with that at all. And it's got, you know, it says that it's ROHS approved and things like that. Believe me, this stuff did gave us more problems than anything else. So just be careful with anything with metal flakes. It doesn't even say on here that it's got like metal in it. It just tells you the thermal conductivity and the thermal resistance, thermal grease features. It doesn't actually tell you anything. But what you can do is you can go look up the name. If you do find up thermal paste, just go look up the name. Try and see if you can get to the company's website and just try and see if it's got any metal in it. On my fingers already I can see there's all this paste in it, and you actually battle to get it out. It really sits. And if I look carefully at it, I can see how shiny it is. So that I can really see it's got all metal flakes. I can actually see at some places there is metal flakes on my finger at the moment. So be very careful when you do that. When you replace the thermal paste, don't just use any thermal paste. You're going to have a problem. So I hope that helped you guys a little bit. You know, it will. It's really, you know, if you had a look at the previous video to strip down these PS4 Pros, it takes a long time. That video was almost an hour, but it was just because I explained everything thoroughly to you guys, how not to damage anything on the board. And then if you do now, you strip down it and you put this type of stuff on there, you close it back up, within 10 minutes the PS4 fan starts picking up, or it keeps shutting down, because that thermal grease that you maybe bought had got metal flakes in it, and it actually ran over and it started shorting out these little chips. And then you got to strip it back down again. And you, if you guys watch the video, or you've ever stripped down a PS4 Pro, you'll know it takes a lot of time. You've got to be very careful, and then you're going to have to redo everything again. You're going to have to clean all that thermal grease. You'll have to try and clean it off the processor properly, so it doesn't still stay behind, and this stuff sticks. I promise you, if you could see my fingers, this stuff sticks like you cannot believe. I mean, there's a little dot there on the corner of my finger. This stuff is really, really terrible. You'll have to use alcohol to actually get it off there, and that could damage the processor even further. So make sure that you do get a thermal paste from the beginning that's got no metal flakes in. Like I said, it doesn't matter if it's white or silver, it's just a greyish silver colour. That actually is more grey than this one is more, if you've got to look on the spatula, this one you can actually see the silver in it. It's a big difference in colour. If you really look up close, you'll see that there's a lot more silver in there. That's more like a grey, the thermal paste that Sony uses, which is fine. I mean, there's no problem with them using that type of paste. It works perfectly. I mean, they make the machines, don't they? But they don't. Obviously, they're not going to show you how to open your PS4 and what type of thermal paste to use. But if you can, try and look for a white one. The white ones usually don't have any any metal flakes in them, and it's a good thermal compound, or that you can put on the processor. Just a little line across the top, not too little so it doesn't cover the whole thing when it closes, and don't spread it around the chip. That's not going to help, because it's going to run out the sides, and then it could cause problems later on for you guys. But I'll do a video on that also, and how to clean this processor properly to apply new thermal paste. I hope you guys enjoyed that video, and if you did, please subscribe to our channel. Hit the subscribe and the bell icon, and then hit the little like thumbs up, so that Google can see that we did a very good video here today, and we did a proper explanation of how to replace your thermal paste on your PS4 Pro console. I hope that helps, guys. And thank you very much. Have an awesome day. And again, please like our video, subscribe, and hit the little bell so you can get notifications when we bring out another video again. Cheers, guys.